Hello friends, Pankaj Durole here. In continuation with the previous video, now in this video I will going to talk on contiguous memory allocation scheme. In previous video, as we have seen about the basics of memory management, wherein we have seen that the memory system is basically divided into secondary memory and primary memory, and from the primary memory system the processor is fetching the data, and there we have also seen how the logical address is translated to physical address, and the translation of logical address to physical address, it is done basically by the operating system, because for accessing the data on the main memory system we need physical address, and generally what happens, the logical address is generated and that has to be translated to physical address, because logical address directly accesses the data from the secondary memory system. And as we know that the CPU always fetches the data from the main memory system, right? So because of that reason, the logical address has to be converted to physical address. That is what we have seen in the previous video. And also one thing we have seen, that when it comes to storing the data on the memory system, the data is stored in two different ways. It is with the help of contiguous memory allocation scheme and non-contiguous memory allocation scheme. Now what happens in contiguous memory allocation scheme? We are storing the data as like storing the data in the array. We have seen that example also. In array, the data is stored in the sequential format, one after another, right? So what is happening, if we want to store the huge amount of the data or the larger amount of data than the partition size, then we are facing the problems in contiguous memory allocation. If you have not seen the previous video, please do watch that video and then watch this video, because this is the continuation of the previous video. Now as I was discussing about contiguous memory allocation, right, also we have seen about the non-contiguous memory allocation scheme. In non-contiguous memory allocation, we are solving the problem of external fragmentation. What is meant by external fragmentation? It means that if in a partition I want to save the data and that particular partition size is incapable of storing the larger amount of the data, then what will happen? That partition will store the amount of the data that partition can occupy, and the remaining data will be stored in the next partition, and that was known as non-contiguous memory allocation scheme. And for that purpose we have taken the example of linked list. So this is the thing that I have already cleared with my previous video. Now in today's video, but I will going to talk only about the contiguous memory allocation scheme. Now let us start. Contiguous memory allocation have basically two types. As we know that in contiguous memory allocation scheme, we are storing the data in the form of arrays, right? So we will be using probably a fixed size partitioning and a variable size partitioning inside the contiguous memory allocation scheme. One thing we need to just take into the mind over here, that when we are managing the memory, right, in what different methods we are managing the memory, that is what is explained over here. Because we have a data, we want to store it on the memory locations, right, and the operating system is playing a key role while storing the data. So with these different methods we will be storing the data, right? Now in contiguous memory allocation, basically as there are two different methods, but the common thing will be the data will be stored sequentially. As we already know that the example for contiguous memory allocation we have taken, that was an array, right? So but maybe it is a contiguous memory allocation scheme, but in contiguous memory allocation, what are the different ways by which we will going to store the data? That is what we will going to see with this video. Now, as we know that CPU generally focuses on the main memory to access the data, because main memory works like a reception wherein the required amount of data is available, because to fetch the data from the secondary memory system, it is very difficult. While designing the memory even, we do expect that the memory should be very large in the size, but the access time should be less, right? But it does not happen with directly the secondary memory system and the processor, and for that purpose the main memory is helping us. The required amount of data from the secondary memory system is fetched inside the main memory system, and from the main memory system the CPU is taking the data and processing and making available the contents in front of the user, maybe on laptop, maybe on computer, maybe on mobile phone. Now talking about the contiguous memory allocation, it is of basically two types: fixed size partitioning and variable size partitioning. Now let us start with the fixed size partitioning first. Now as we are observing with this diagram, fixed size partitioning, so here I have tried to keep the similar diagrams as compared to previous video, because here our purpose is to understand the concepts. So the similar diagram will help us in differentiating the different types of concepts. In fixed size partitioning, what is the thing? That it is the method of contiguous memory allocation. It is one of the type of contiguous memory allocation. Now it means that it will going to store the data in the form of arrays. So in fixed size partitioning, as we are observing that we have made the partition maybe of out of 10 KB of the array, so 5 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1. Now here let us say the process P1 requires 4 KB, right? Now 4 KB of the data is needed by the process. So from the memory system we will going to allocate the 5 KB partition for that particular process. Now here the partition size are fixed. It means that let us say here there are 4 different partitions, right? But the partition sizes are different. So here it is not the thing that I will going to make the partitions of 4 KB, 4 KB, 4 KB, 4 KB and so on. Not like that. But the partition that I will going to make, whose size will not going to change, may not going to become less or may not going to get increased. This is known as a fixed size partitioning. So let us say, for example, this is a 10 KB, right? So we will consider that we have not made the 5 size partitions over here. Fixed size here is depends that the process may be of any different size, but the partitions are fixed like 5 KB, 2 KB, 2 KB, 1 KB. So let us say there is a process less than 1 KB. So it will get occupied inside the 1 KB partition. Let us say 1.75 KB process. So it will get occupied inside any of the 2 KB partition, not required to go inside the 5 KB. So I mean to tell that this is the fixed size partitioning. Now what are the characteristics of this fixed size partitioning? Right. So let us say any process will come inside the operating system will demand for some size. Right. So we will the operating system will say to that process that inside the memory these are the partitions that are available. So depends on the size, the nearest possible the higher value of that partition will be chosen. For example, 4 KB will be allocated the 5 KB partition. 1.75 KB will be allocated with any of the 2 KB partition. right? Less than 1 KB will not be allocated with 2 KB partition, but 1 KB partition will be more than sufficient. So this is known as fixed size partitioning. So let us take for example, we go to restaurant, and in restaurant what we observe that there are different tables of different chairs in the sizes. So let us say one of the table might be of 2 chair, one of the table might be of 4 chair, so that a family can come, a small family, and can sit on that 4 chair table. If there are only 2 people, they will going to occupy their sizes on the only a table who have the 2 chairs. Maybe a joint family will come of around 10 people, will going to occupy the table which is of that particular size. Now here one thing that we need to note, that let us say there are 3 people that are visiting to restaurant. Now they will going to occupy the 4 chair table only, and there one chair will always be empty, in that case will be empty, and this is actually known as internal fragmentation, and that is happening inside this fixed size partitioning. Now we cannot further partition the partition, right? So if it is a 5 KB, so if the process is 4 KB, so I cannot have a 4 KB partition and 1 KB unused space, not like that. When the 4 KB size will be used, 1 KB will be automatically unused, but 5 KB partition I cannot make as a 4 KB. Here 4 KB will be used and 1 KB will be totally unused, and which is known as internal fragmentation. See, internal fragmentation happens at so many instances. For example, while publishing a book, right? So for a book, let us consider that the last page of the chapter, so if it is half is filled and then half will be empty, so we do not start the second chapter from that half page. So what is happening? Internal fragmentation is there, right? I hope you are now understanding. Now in fixed size partitioning policy, the system will always have an internal fragmentation. Here one partition will use only one process, and we cannot reuse that, right? Now after understanding with the fixed size partitioning, let us move for the variable size partitioning scheme, which is the another type of contiguous memory allocation scheme. Now in fixed size partitioning there are some advantages, that it is easy to manage because the partition sizes are fixed, right? So it is easy to manage. Disadvantages, it is suffering from internal fragmentation. Now let us try to solve the problem of internal fragmentation. That is done with the help of variable size partitioning scheme, and the diagram above is drawn for variable size partitioning scheme only. Now what is the difference between fixed size partitioning and variable size partitioning? In variable size partitioning, depends on the process size, the partitions will be made. Depends on the process size, the partitions will be made. So now the same diagram and the same concept, right, and the different type of concept. For example, process P1 is coming, which is in requirement of 4 KB. So what we have done over here, we have allocated 4 KB space to that particular process. So in previous diagram 1 KB space was unused. Now here what will happen? 1 KB space will not be unused, so that there will not be any internal fragmentation, right? So here the process comes in the system, will allocate the partition to the process based on the demand, based on the size of the process. So let us say one has come of 4 KB size, P2 have come with 3 KB size, P3 have come with 2 KB size, P4 have come with 1 KB size. Now here the partitions were not made already. The partitions are contiguous, right? But they are made depends on the process. So they are variable sized. They are not of fixed size. Means here we will not have predefined allocations, right? So depends on the size of the process, we will going to allocate the partition. We will going to make the partition. So what will happen? There is no chance of internal fragmentation here. What was internal fragmentation? In fixed size partitioning, the partition size were fixed. So the process size that will come in the process that will come inside the operating system depends on its size of the process. The larger size of the partition we need to choose. Here it is not happening so. Right? Depends on the size we are creating the partition. So you can just observe the difference between the previous diagram and this diagram. So the types of contiguous memory allocation scheme, that is fixed size partitioning and the variable size partitioning, will be very clear to us. So internal fragmentation is not happening, but now guys, there is the chance that in contiguous memory allocation scheme we suffer from external fragmentation. Now what is meant by we suffer from external fragmentation? It means that if we have the process that have come and that is whose requirement, right, it is like we need to connect one block that is available with another block, like linked list. In linked list we can have a huge amount of space, right, and there is never a contiguous memory allocation. There is a non-contiguous memory allocation. So non-contiguous memory allocation means what? So one block is connected to another block, another block is connected to again another block. So that is possible inside only non-contiguous memory allocation scheme, right? So that we may have a huge amount of a space for our process, but in fixed size partitioning there is a limitation, right? One block we cannot connect with another block. Even with these two types, fixed size and variable size, we are observing that there is an array, right? And inside the array in continuous fashion only we are storing the data. But sometime we may require the array, but sometime we may require the non-contiguous memory allocation scheme, right? So like a linked list. So here we will suffer from external fragmentation, right? And external fragmentation can be solved with the help of the non-contiguous memory allocation scheme, right? So in non-contiguous memory allocation scheme we will going to see about memory paging, right? Now after this video please watch the next video which will be dependent on non-contiguous memory allocation. Thank you.